The final part of our post-game guests coming in to the Isles Den podcast to leave us their thoughts on this season. I welcome in the Data Man, Data Dom. How we doing, my friend?
Jack, what's going on, buddy? Good to be on. Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. We're going to get started with the same first question. Dom, what were your expectations going into this season, and how did your projection pan out?
I was a doubter. I was happy that Schaefer made the team. I didn't think there would be much for him to accomplish in the NCAA based on his ability to skate and what we saw in camp and what you saw in the preseason. The guy can play. And I wrote it down here. I never actually gave a legitimate number, but I had been saying amongst friends somewhere in the high 70s to low 80s in points. I predicted the coach would be fired after the season and that we'd be fast and fun to watch, like the rushing attack team we saw the first 2 weeks of the season. I thought that's who we'd be all year and that we'd be horrendous defensively, and that was correct. But I didn't foresee, obviously, the crazy season Sorokin gave us and how good Schaefer would be.
Yeah, I remember on the post games early in the season, you applauded how they looked off the rush, and I'm not sure what happened, but it felt like that offense kind of disappeared as the season went on. You were all over the Patrick Waugh thing from the start. I got to give it to you. You wanted him fired last year, I think, going into this season, and I have to say, I agreed. It was just like this. How did you feel when it's March 28th and the Islanders are in second place? Was your energy still 100%? We need this guy fired.
Yes and no. Like, yes, because I know he's not the guy to get us where we're going, but no, because the vibes were pretty good and we were still winning games and we were still in it. I was, because you were the one that texted me before I even got the tweet from the Islanders saying that he was gone. And then I get my notification, my phone pops up, the Friedman says he's gone, and it's like, oh, it's an Easter miracle, thank God. But I never believed it. It didn't pass the sniff test all year, this team.
I had it a little bit early, and I knew the first person I had to text was you because I knew it was going to make your Easter Sunday, which I'm sure was already
that
great.
It did.
Yeah. But yeah, my expectations were looked like they were correct for a second because I thought they were going to be a playoff team. But I thought the way we would get there would be a lot different. And it was some of the things you mentioned that I didn't see coming. Like, I thought Sorokin would have a good season. I didn't think he would have that season. And it's kind of a shame because I don't think people realize how great of a season he actually had. Like, when we were last in chances against, expected chances against, and he's first in goals saved above expected. Thank God for that Mike Kelly guy. He saw it all year.
Well, no, yeah, he was fighting the good fight for us. I don't expect Sorokin to win the Vezina because I believe the GMs vote on it, and most of the GMs they probably don't know any of that stuff. Like they probably don't put as much stock into the underlying stuff as they should. It's probably to their own demise, honestly. I bet Eric Tolsky's going to vote for Sorokin.
Yeah,
or your McFarlands or your Sonny Metas, guys like that.
It's interesting, like listening to I listened to Lou go on the Daily Face-Off podcast, the Tri-State one with Johnny Laz, Arthur, and Mike Rupp. Did you hear him talk about the analytics a little bit?
Yeah, they said that, like, what did they say? That Lou was basically on the cutting edge of analytics. He was like one of the first guys to buy in, which is just hell yeah.
Yeah,
hell yeah, Lou.
It was cool. Lou was talking about Corsi a little bit, about how that was like the big buzzword back then and how outdated it's become. So there's always things going on behind the scenes we don't know, but the data-driven organizations, like I'm really curious about which organizations are using it as like maybe a lot more than others.
Well, right. These playoffs have been a huge W for the analytics community because the two best teams by far by underlying profile all season were Carolina and Colorado, and they are steamrolling. So we'll see. It's I don't know when this is getting posted, but it's Friday the 15th. We have game 6 tomorrow between Buffalo and Montreal, but all the other series are settled.
Yeah, I will say, like, it does surprise me a little bit I know Ottawa's analytical profile was incredible, and
Right.
like I already had Ottawa to pull off the upset in round one. Embarrassing to admit at this point, but
Yeah, I was going to retweet it because it was in my replies to one of my tweets.
yeah, I was thinking Ottawa had a chance. Yeah, man, Carolina, I just don't see anyone beating them. I do think doesn't Vegas rank pretty high analytically?
At the end of the year, yeah, their analytical profile the last 2 months of the season or so, like post Olympics, they were like top 3 or top 4, and they
Interesting.
just weren't getting saves. And now Carter Hart is making saves, and you're seeing what's happening.
Yeah. So, any prediction in that series?
I think without Mark Stone, they don't have much of a chance. But they're stingy defensively, but they don't have the speed. Like Natchez and McKinnon might just bob and weave around people for offense. Like they
Yeah.
might not be able to contain the speed that Colorado has.
Yeah, not Vegas defensively. Like their defensemen, like they haven't, like you can't replace Alex Pietrangelo, but Anderson instead of Pietrangelo. They're stingy, but they're not as stingy as they used to be. So it will be an interesting series. I think people think it's going to be shorter than it is, but hey, I've been wrong too.
I'll say Colorado in 6, just to give Vegas some respect.
Me too. That's what I got. So question number 2. Give me 2 reasons why the Islanders collapsed, or why you think that they collapsed at the end of the season in late March, early April. And I said 2 reasons because I knew some people were just going to go to the trades right away. So I wanted one other one.
No, I wasn't going to say. The trades are a reason for what happened on the ice happening, but what I have, it was they couldn't generate offense, which was in part and partial to the guys they brought in not really having much offensive juice, specifically Palat and Soucy. But again, these guys weren't 20-minute per night, 25-minute per night players. It was the depth wasn't providing anything, and it was too much strain on the top guys. So they couldn't generate enough scoring chances to offset the lack of finishing that the lineup has. So if you're only getting 20 looks a game and you're a below average finishing team, which the Islanders are, you're only going to probably get 2 to 3 goals a night if you're lucky. And then the other one is, we all know it's goaltending. The goaltending was amazing all season, and for the better half of the second, since the start of the new year, Rittich became almost unplayable, and you had to play Sorokin almost every game. And I hate to be the guy that says, oh, he was tired, because obviously goaltenders played way more games back in the day. But yeah, maybe he was tired playing back-to-backs, and he went from having a generational, unbelievable first 60 or so games of the Islanders season, and then the end, it just he was just average.
It's weird, man. Like Sorokin is just not the type of goalie, for whatever reason, that's going to give you, like, he can't really give you that, like a 60-game season. What we used to see back in the day. It's crazy how crazy that sounds now, right?
Nobody really can. Like, who's playing 60? I think Karel Vejmelka played like 65 games or something.
The reason it blows my mind is because usually, like, in the modernization of all of these professional sports, like, you're seeing athletes be able to last longer. Usually, like, you'd think the advances in medicine and ritual.
Oh yeah, and the health and training and all that. Yeah, for sure. You would think the opposite. Yeah, you would think these guys would be able to play more and play on back-to-backs without issue and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of the opposite of how everything else is going.
Yeah, offensively, I mean, they fell off a cliff. D'Angelo being out certainly didn't help towards the end there. Boquist came in
the last 2 weeks.
Boquist came in. I think we'll touch on him later, but it was just the offense. It was all just a disaster. But offensively, I didn't even feel like they ever had a chance, because it felt like they lived in their own zone the entire last 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, and they were self-sabotaging with the lineup. Like, to not have any guys with offensive juice playing was crazy. How are you not going to let Duclair, Shabanov, before you traded him, Siplikov, guys that can do stuff with the puck and create offense when you can't score? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel like they were going for like a low event style, which didn't really benefit them early in the season. Early in the season, they were playing like high event hockey off the rush. Right. It felt like that to me, at least. And then down the stretch, they just wanted nothing to happen. And there were certain times where I thought it was like a good strategy. When we played, the Islanders played Buffalo that like down the stretch there, and they just wanted nothing to happen the whole game and to just steal it at the end. Yeah, the opposite went on to happen. But question number 3: who is your most underrated contributor in this group?
All right. I don't want to say one that somebody's already said, but I don't know what everybody else has said. So I said Max Shabanov.
Nobody has said that.
Okay, great. He's kind of fallen out of favor with a lot of the fans because he's small and because he gets bullied off the puck sometimes and he gets injured. But I liked Shabanov because he brought something different. He was small, but he had a little bit of dog in him. He was feisty. He would forecheck and battle, and he would throw the body a little bit.
He would also go to the middle of the ice. Like he was fearless.
He was fearless, carrying the puck in transition through the neutral zone. And we don't have a lot of that, especially when you move on from guys like Siplikov and Engvall's out all year. And we got some of that back with Schaefer, obviously. So a defenseman being able to drive the puck up the ice is a luxury. It's not something that most teams have. But a funny stat about Shabanov, when I was doing the research to find out who should this be, Max Shabanov led the entire Islanders, not just the forwards, the entire team in 5-on-5 goals per hour, like on ice.
That's surprising.
The New York Islanders produced more 5-on-5 goals rate-wise with Max Shabanov on the ice than Barzal, than Schaefer, than Horvat, than Lee, any of these guys. We gave some back because he's not the best defender. He was only a -2 at 5-on-5 all year.
That's pretty stunning. I am not gonna lie. That's a stat
that guy was instant offense.
Yeah, no, and you could see why. I mean, he was good in transition. He was creative. You know what kind of sucked to watch though? If you go look at the tape in like October, November, and he was like, for whatever reason, when he first arrived, he was a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was taking too many hits. I don't know if it was coaching, but he kind of, I would say he became a shell of himself for a little bit in the middle of the season.
He looked a little timid for sure.
And they just kind of got lazy with it coaching wise and stopped trying to get the most out of the player and just decided to scratch him for way too long.
Yeah, he scratched him for like 2.5 months straight or something crazy.
It was crazy.
But a lot of people will point to the skating, and yeah, he does not have top end speed, but he's pretty shifty and he's got burst. And to me, honestly, burst is more important for me. That like top end speed is nice, but you only ever get to those 22-mile-per-hour top end speed bursts, like when you're going from your own zone to the other zone, skating with the puck. If he has enough, like if he's going fast frequently instead of going super fast infrequently, I'd rather have that. And the other thing about him, as far as points, his points were like your with Cal Ritchie, primary points. As on a rate basis, same thing, 5-on-5, third on the team in primary points, only behind Horvat and Duclair.
That is a concerning. So that's crazy. Not a rate stat. That's a count stat.
No, that is a rate stat.
Okay, good. Because if that was a count stat, I was going to say, man, that's
no counting stat. It's 100% Barzal.
Yeah, but
and then as far as 5-on-5 usage amongst forwards, he was 10th. He played 9. Watt played 9 forwards more than him.
And I can
let the guy play. I'm so glad he's gone, dude.
Yeah, yeah. He it was frustrating, but also cool to see him come into that Carolina game towards the end of the season, play next to Cal Ritchie again, and he scores a goal, and he just looks like he gave them like an actual spark. And I was calling for it for weeks because the Islanders couldn't score goals, they couldn't keep them out of the net, and it's like, why isn't this guy playing? It's too risky. It's too risky to put in a young player like this, like
we might get scored on.
Yeah, like you have a better chance to score a goal. That part of it was really frustrating. But there's one question I got to ask you. So, are you nervous to put faith into another first year KHL graduate right after Max Siplikov?
The problem is I don't know if he's going to be on the team next year.
Yeah,
I have faith in the player. I hope DeBoer gives him the chance. I hope he's on the team next year. And yeah, I'll probably hitch my wagon to him.
I'd imagine that you know more about DeBoer than I do and the type of players he likes, dislikes.
Yeah.
What chances do you give Shabanov if he is signed back to actually get like a real opportunity?
I don't know. I think for me, a real opportunity is just at third line. Let him play third line. Give
Yeah,
him 12 to 14 minutes a game. That's real opportunity for me. So if he gets maybe like, I'm trying to make a comparison. It's because he's not a center. It's hard to do. I'll say Sam Steele in Dallas. That was a guy DeBoer went out and asked for. Nil gave it to him, and he's just a bottom six center with some scoring touch that buzzes around.
I would really, on this team, I really wouldn't mind if Shabanov was on power play one. And it's because I like watching players that are on power play one that get the puck and are looking to do something creative with it and are not scared to have it. And you just don't know what they're going to do. Watching him was enjoyable. At least earlier in the season, he definitely went through a rough stretch. When it's bad, it's bad. The highs were highs, the lows were lows. So he is an interesting one to keep an eye on. Siplikov, we'll see what's next for his career. Did the Devils waive him?
No, he's still on the roster. He'll from what I've heard from my source.
There we go.
he should still be here next year.
Okay, good.
He wants to make it work here.
Yeah, I look.
And to my knowledge, he has a clean slate in New Jersey, and he's going to get a full training camp, and he'll have every opportunity to make the roster and earn playing time next year.
I think he will. I have faith in him. I saw that first year. Very, very frustrating how that turned out. But overrated. Who's your most overrated contributor?
Okay.
I know. I think I can guess your answer here.
I wrote down a forward and a defenseman. Can you guess which ones?
Yeah. Okay. The defenseman, I'm going to nail it. It's Ryan Pulock.
That's right.
The forward, I'm going to guess Emil Heineman.
That's right too. Let's go.
Bingo. Yeah, because no one else. Very few.
Too much, man.
Very people say that. Very few people say that about Emil Heineman. And before you say why, I'll just say why I can't get there is because on a team that was, I don't know what they were ranked in goals for. I don't know what the hell they were offensively, league wide, everything. Emil Heineman at least had 23, 24 goals. And for what I expected, okay, I'll take that. But there are absolutely flaws in his game, and I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I think he scored 22 goals, 9 assists or something like that.
I thought it was 24.
My only problem, well, it's he just plays too much. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he was exposed to too many players that were way better than him. Like he was getting matchup minutes on Bo Horvat's wing against your McDavids, against your Jack Hugheses. I'm like, he's not that guy.
That's crazy.
Like he could win his minutes as a bottom sixer that has a big shot on power play too, and could potentially fill in and kill penalties even because he skates well. He's got tenacity. He can hit. I question his IQ sometimes because he does get lost. He gets caught puck watching. But then again, who on our team doesn't? Last year was, oh my God. But that's why I picked him. I don't dislike him. I just think he was overexposed and he made him. It's not even him. It's the coach gave him the opportunity to get shelled a little bit here.
Pete DeBoer agrees with you because the first thing he did when he took over was he put Heineman on the third line and he stayed there the entire time. And Heineman was a line one player. And while it was going on in like October, I was like, guys, I don't see it. And then as you call it, maybe the PDO bender, everything he shot went into the net for like a month. And
well, he was shooting like 30-something% in like mid-November.
And the shootout game-winning goals too, when he was going through like the month-long scoreless drought, it kind of is like, oh, this guy's fine. So yeah, he was definitely he was productive, but I will say something with his game that kind of it does frustrate me because I feel like with him he can be more, but it probably won't happen when I just see a guy that has so much speed. He's big, he can shoot, and like. Then you watch him stick handle through the neutral zone or something, and you see him try to make a pass.
You're like, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, like there was a game recently towards the end of the season that they needed to win, and Horvat, he's out there with Horvat and Barzell. Barzell, they're on a 3-on-1. Barzell's on the left, Heineman's at center, Horvat's on the right, and Barzell and Horvat are ahead of him. but Barzell sees him trailing, dishes him the puck, and it was one of those situations where if he just touched it one more to Horvat on the right, it is a tap-in. Like the goalie was out of sorts, and he just one times it right into the goalie's pads. And it's like,
hell yeah,
that's the problem with his game.
That's me playing NHL.
Yeah, like it just top six forward. Like he needs to be able to see that, and like that's something in his game that's definitely absent. So I can see why.
He's probably the worst passer on the team amongst the forwards.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. If you were talking about like the top 9, absolutely.
Yeah, he's like your prototypical fourth liner. He's this is gonna sound so disrespectful. He seems like good Julien Gauthier.
Yeah,
like good version. No. Just skates like the wind, shoots it harder than anybody on the team. He's big, he's physical, but he just doesn't really know what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, and
he's the better version.
Your defensive choice, Ryan Pulock, I have to be honest, I completely agree with this one. And it's because people are like, well, he had a bounce back year. That was true up until like February. And for me, it's like he's playing with Schaefer, he's playing with Pelech, like you'll take care of the rest.
Well, yeah, he's kind of also the same thing. He's being used as like a Mo Sider, and he's Ryan Pulock.
Yeah,
like he's getting matchup minutes, getting shelled against top lines, and yeah, he's all of the analytics suggest that he's a Schaefer / Pelech merchant. That he's kind of succeeding because of the amount of heavy lifting his partner's doing, and I don't want to discredit him because he did have his plus minus was insane this year, and some of it was PDO, but. I don't know. It's hard to say because the passing his passing is still pretty good. His puck stuff is not bad. Like he can move the puck through the neutral zone. He could pass in the offensive zone instead of just hammering his shot, which I honestly am not a fan of just giant slap shots from the point. Although they are cool, it's not a good way to score goals. So I do like his vision, but defensively he's really, really not good. And maybe if he just starts playing against competition that he can handle, it'll rectify itself, but we'll see.
I completely agree with that. Defensively, you see, this is why I give so much credit though to Schaefer and Pelech, because when you look at the analytics and you see how Pulock grades out, the fact that those guys who are partnered with him are grading out like at a high level, it says a lot. Like,
yeah, it's kind of an indictment on him.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, Pulock, that contract was in the top 25 worst in the league, ranked by The Athletic last season. So many of you love Ryan Pulock, and so do we. I mean, he was on those teams that took them all the way to the conference final. But
I still think he's a great Islander. His resume with the Islanders is really, really good.
It's awesome. Like I completely agree, but it's okay to criticize him. It kind of sucks. Like, see, he's like he's really like a rare player that like he was really, really, really good, and now he's just it's a complete shell of himself.
He's in over his head, and I think if we could find a way to get him second pair minutes, and not just shell him with D zone starts against the best players in the NHL, honestly, I just want to get him away from Schaefer and get him playing just normal deployment. I think that would do wonders for him.
Yeah.
And he was hurt. We got to acknowledge he was playing hurt.
Those last 2 months, that last like stretch where he came back from injury was like, it was really bad of Patrick Waugh to have him out on the ice. Like there was a game in Carolina. They gave up a fourth goal to start the third period. This guy, I don't know if you remember the play, but he had like 10 feet on somebody that was chasing the puck. He loses it. They score.
Oh, and he still got beat. Yeah, I remember.
It was, you could just tell that he was not right.
Somebody just skated right around him. I forgot who it was. Yeah.
You know what?
Because he was the first one back.
If you ever say that you miss this team, like go watch that play.
I think it was Jarvis. I think Jarvis just skated right past him and beat, I think it was Sorokin. It had to have been Sorokin.
Oh, it was like a one-timer from like the right side beating Sorokin up high. That game was one of the worst watches, given the importance of it, that I've ever seen out of this team. So question number 5. So this is more of like a human element type question. What are your thoughts on firing Patrick Waugh on Easter Sunday with 2 games left? Do you think that the guy deserved to see it all the way through? even as someone that wanted this a long time ago, or do you understand it?
Well, I never thought he should have been back this year, so I was kind of lobbying for him to be fired all season, and so to fire him with 4 games left, a lot of people are gonna say that Darche is trying to scapegoat him, and there's some of that to it. But if you don't think that, and I'm gonna combat you and Phil on this when you were saying that and I do believe it was partly to jump the line on DeBoer. I think DeBoer's defensive structure in the Olympics was terrific. I think DeBoer was a hot name, and the amount of money we had to give him to come to the island, versus waiting till all those other jobs opened up. Like, you think the Oilers wouldn't want DeBoer right now? You think the Leafs wouldn't want to talk to DeBoer right now? The Leafs have more money than God. They could have paid him more than we're paying him. So I did understand in that regard to get him ahead of time and to let him meet the guys or whatever. However you want to dress it up. I do not hate that move. And I love DeBoer as a coach. But I thought he should have that Wash should have been gone before the season. Or actually, ironically enough, I wrote down that he should have been fired after being shut out 5-0 against Buffalo after the Western Canada trip, which didn't go well.
Yeah, disgusting.
That was Seattle, Calgary.
The Flames game.
The awful. Flames game. Yeah, that was late January, I think.
Yes,
and then,
correct.
And then right before we came home, I think we were at Buffalo. No, it was home against Buffalo. We got shut out 5-0.
The benching Duclair, Barzell, and Anders.
That was that game. You're right. Okay. So I thought he should have been fired after that game.
Yeah.
And then the other time I thought he should have been fired was after losing to Buffalo again, this time on the road on the back-to-back when we lost to Pittsburgh the day before. We lost 8-3 to Pittsburgh, and then we lost 4-3 to Buffalo at the end of March. That would have been only with 6 games left, but it's better than 4, and I don't know.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical, just out of my own personal curiosity. So let's say the game against Pittsburgh never happens. When they're up 3-1, they go on to win the game, and the Islanders end up making the playoffs, and they play the Penguins or the Flyers, whoever. They win that first round the way that the Flyers did, and then they go to Carolina, and they lose 4-0, and it's not competitive. But Patrick Roy is back next year. What situation do you like better?
That's hell. I'm so if that's what we could have had happen, and we keep this guy, I'm glad we missed. Clip that.
I kind of agree. Like the team needed to move on from him because I'm not going to lie. If they kept Patrick Roy, I think this team was going to finish in the bottom 5 next year.
If Sorokin was just good and Schaefer was just a good rookie, not the best rookie we've seen in 20-something years, where are we in the standings?
Yeah, and it's like if you actually do look too, and like,
or if we're an average overtime team.
Yeah, there's all of those little factors that kept us above water. The fact that he couldn't figure out ways to get us into the playoffs with all of that working on his side, that's really that just says it all right there. But coming from you, it's a little bit easier for the DeBoer take to jump the line. I just feel like a lot of people that say that answer are people that defend every last move Darche makes. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of Darche's either, but I'll agree that move made sense because there were going to be openings and he was going to be in demand from other teams.
Just thought it was bold. I thought that I think he's a bad coach, but the way the team was all season and them still being alive technically, I probably would have just let him stay and then fire him literally immediately. You paid him like the 3rd highest salary, DeBoer, in the NHL. So if you had all that working for you, I think you probably would have gotten him anyway, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry if they were actually thinking like that. Right. But yeah.
Funny coincidence as well, actually, that after getting shut out 5-0 to Buffalo, where I said Wash should have been fired, they go and I think they played Philly 2 nights later and won on home ice. And then right after that game, we trade for Palat and we trade for Susie.
That's like
imagine we fired Waugh then.
Yeah, we would have.
What would have happened? Do we make those trades?
I don't know. Those trades, man. I would have just loved to have seen George play a little bit more.
Alternate timeline where things go right.
Yeah. So now we're on to question 6. I'm curious of your answers on these. So these are
on page 2.
Yeah, these are the UFAs These are the RFAs that are up this season. So I like to start with a little bit. I like to start a little bit slow with these. We'll get to the big ones at the end because I think there's two. But
Okay.
up
I got
first.
extra names on here, so I'll get some extra credit. I'll let you go.
Okay, perfect. So first up, Adam Boquist. Stay or go.
RFA Adam Boquist is gone. He might go back to Sweden.
Yeah, it's been an ugly career. You know, it was funny. I
apologize to his dad who follows me on Twitter. By all accounts, seems like a good guy.
That's kind of sad. So next up we got Carson Soucy.
Carson Soucy I have gone as well.
Yeah, please don't make us
anywhere else. Please go back to the Rangers or something. Go to the Leafs. Oh, that'd be awesome. Soucy and Simone awesome. Benoit, bottom pair. I'd love that.
My. Okay, so next up we got Mark Gacom.
I had throw him a contract, give him 2 years, $1 million a year, and make it be a one-way, just in case he does spend some time in the minors. He's still making that NHL salary.
Yeah, that's been the one player that everybody has said sure. Like, why not?
Yeah, he's unremarkable, but he seems to be well liked and whatever.
So next up we have. I'll give you a minor leaguer, a Marshall Warren.
Okay, I had him on here. He's an RFA.
Yeah,
and he wants to be here too. So I don't think he's not going to want to, even if we didn't, if we didn't give him a qualifying offer, he's obviously going to test the market. But I think he wants to be here.
Yeah, me too. Just a simple one.
And I have it on pretty good authority that he pulled some strings to kind of force his way here.
Okay, so we got to keep him around. Next up, all right. So now we're into the real names. We'll go Shabanov first.
Yes, easy yes.
Kind of went over why before.
Yeah, it's just a matter of not knowing what else could be in there.
David Riddick.
I have him as a no because I'm optimistic on Varley, and I think we can just throw a 1-year deal at somebody else.
I think that
I did like Riddick though.
I think that the team promoting Varlamov's start and both of them going pretty well. I kind of agree with you there. I think that Varlamov's going to get the net as the backup next year to start. Look, I hope it works out. It's a pretty big gamble. If it doesn't work out and he gets hurt, I'm actually okay with them. If they're a decent team, I'm okay with them trading an asset for a backup goalie that's like very capable, because you're just not going to get the most out of your biggest investment as a team unless you have a capable backup. And David Riddick is not that guy, by the way.
Right. No, and I think it's actually been sort of a disservice to Varlamov since he's been gone so long. People forget Varlamov's really fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Varlamov's good.
Yeah. I used to say, like, I don't care what the stats say. It's just at one point when Varlamov was healthy, they had the best goalie tandem in the league, because you have two guys that you feel super comfortable with in net at all times. Yeah. Sure, like the Bruins had Swayman and Ullmark, but they also had like the league's best defense. Like, these are two goalies that are going to look competent pretty much no matter what.
I agree.
So the next one, all right, these are the two big ones. We'll start with Tony DeAngelo.
I said yes, and I do think they'll bring him back.
Let me ask you something, though. So I saw a tweet of yours a while ago. People got mad at you, but it was the Islanders roster since 2018, and it's literally like them compared to everyone else in the NHL about how they always have the same guys.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My hot take this offseason is if he wants to sign for more than one or for me, it's really 1 year I'm okay with, but I don't want to re-sign Tony DeAngelo. And it's not anything to do with locker room politics. It's simple as this. They just had a season that it didn't work out. And DeAngelo, yes, he had a good season, but he had a really good season after they switched him away from Romanov to Adam Pelech. And you know as much as anyone, Pelech can elevate anyone's game to that extent, and his puck moving element is important. But I don't know. I just would like to bring someone in that is a proven good right-handed defenseman. I don't care if it's a veteran on the market. I don't care. It just, I'm tired of things. I'm tired of the last 3 years where this team is around the playoff line, sometimes get in, sometimes get out. I'm just kind of tired of watching these games at the end of the year against Carolina where we're outshot 40 to 15 in a must win, and you're just hoping for some miracle. Like, could we just change something? It's really about that for me. And it's like, we're not don't change just to change, but can we
Right.
just try to upgrade something?
I feel like he's maybe a victim of circumstance here because he is one of the easiest pieces to change because he's a UFA. You could easily just not give him a contract. But I do think he has a role on this team because after Schaefer, what defenseman do we have that's bringing any offense?
It's a good point. It really is.
Pelech's offense consists of just ripping slap shots, which is why he didn't score for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Until this year, which I love. That was such a fun stat for me to track for like the last 2 years.
It was crazy.
I don't love Isaiah George's offensive profile if he's going to play. Mayfield likes to throw pucks into the mixer and hope for tips and stuff like that, but he's not much of a passer.
Yeah.
Pollock's got a little bit of it, and I think if you keep D'Angelo, if you bring him back and find a way out of Mayfield, so you can play D'Angelo on that third pair, I think that's the path.
Okay,
and I'd even be willing to overpay him for 1 or 2 years.
Me too.
Like, because just I don't want to give him term. I want to give I'd even give him $4.5 million this year.
Me too.
Overpay him, but don't commit term.
It's the term. It's the term for me.
No more than 2. I do 2. I wouldn't do 3.
Yeah, it's the locking up players when this team is not a playoff team. And I'm just kind of tired of watching the same thing over and over again. And it's kind of frustrating because these are great points. Like, they do need someone who can move the puck. But what you said actually makes sense. They have Mayfields like all over the ice, it feels like. So it's okay if you can trade them.
And it's unfortunate for Mayfield because of the 3 defensemen that I think are the biggest problems on the team, which would be Pulock, Romanov, Mayfield. Mayfield's the only one that's giving you exactly what you paid him to give you.
Don't you kind of want it for Scott at the same time to go to a team that's like, because like a front office that's a contender, if they knew he was available and they needed a third pairing D-man, like he would 100% be an option for them. And I feel like the fans over there, I feel like people would just appreciate him more than they do here. I feel like
he's going to have suitors. Teams are going to want him. It's just I'm fairly confident he doesn't want to leave. He just had a kid.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I do love Scott Mayfield. I have his jersey. I got it signed and everything. But if we could find a way out of that, unless we somehow find a way out of Romanov, which I don't see happening.
You know what's funny? After all these podcasts all season on the post game, I always read comments, and there's just always one in every show. Oh, we got to get rid of Mayfield.
Yeah, everything's Mayfield's fault. You go to a game, you hear 500 people in your section.
Everybody hates this guy. It's kind of crazy to me. Like, when we think about those playoff runs, like, he was a big part of them. He scored like one of the biggest goals in them. I don't know. I
would call it the second biggest goal since like 2010.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, actually, no. Okay, so since the Tavares double or overtime goal against the Panthers,
yeah,
you have that. You have the Beauvillier goal, Mayfield's goal against the Lightning in Game 6.
That goal too is special.
And then the Bailey overtime goal against Pittsburgh's big.
Yeah,
but that's one of the biggest moments in recent Islander history.
The fans are just so sick of him.
It's an unreal goal. It's not a muffin from the point. It's a sick goal.
Oh my God, it was unreal. And the thing is too, with the cap going up so much, I hope people, if you're listening, do not think that trading Mayfield is impossible. It's literally up to him if he wants to waive it, because he makes 3.5. I don't remember the exact amount.
And he's got 4 years left.
And, I remember even at the time, that buyout is like $1 million per year. Like, these are things.
1.6 for the next 8 seasons.
Yeah. So honestly, with these contracts, like with the Mayfields and the Engvalls, who I'm not sure if we're going to touch on Engvall later, so I'll leave it there. But we'll move on. So you are bringing back Tony DeAngelo, but you don't want to give him a term.
Correct. I'd rather overpay him for 1 or 2 years than pay him market value for 4 years.
Yeah. So last but certainly not least is the captain, Anders Lee.
I'm saying no for Anders Lee, just because there's just too many mouths to feed in the forward group. And I feel like the writing is kind of on the wall with Anders Lee. And I think it's very, very possible that he goes somewhere else and has a bounce back finishing season. This was his worst shooting season, I think, in the last 6 years or something like that. I think he shot like 6 or 7% this year when he's a 12% or 13% career shooter. So theoretically, had he shot normal, he probably should have had like 26 goals this year. But I think he had 18 or 19. I don't know. I think it's time.
Well, I've said this all season. I'm sorry you have to hear it again, but the Darche with Steven Stamkos in Tampa, I've just seen this coming the whole season. Usually I'm wrong in these predictions, but I think I've had this one the whole time. The thing with Lee is if you came up to me in January, when I probably would have preferred then that Lee doesn't come back next season, because I think that it's just this group's in transition. If you came up to me and said, Jack, would you rather next season not have Anders Lee on the roster, but have Pajot signed for 3 years, Braden Shen signed through 2 more years, and Andre Palat on the books next year? I would have been like begging for Anders Lee to come back. So that's
I would have been like, please punch me in the face.
Yeah, like, my God. Careful what you wish for. Lesson there, because I would have much rather that. But I can't really blame you for not bringing him back, because this team needs top 6, first line, second line type forwards. The bottom 6 is just clogged with. We'll get to that, but just a bunch of.
We traded for Shen. Phil called me, and I was talking with Phil on the phone. He's like, "So what do we do? Why did we go get another center? A center with term and an older guy?" I'm like, "I guess we're about to trade Pajot before the deadline." And not only did we not trade him, we extended him. I'm like, okay, no, I don't know what's happening.
No, it just blew my mind, because Braden Shen is a name that's been on the trade market for a year and a half, 2 years. And when there's a guy that's a center on the trade market for that long, teams like Tampa Bay, Carolina, Colorado, Dallas, they're all sniffing. None of them were sniffing this one. I actually had watched the Blues play a lot last season, and I kind of noticed actually that this guy is really not like a second line center at this stage of his career. And that's like exactly what it felt like the Islanders brought him in here to do, because Cal Ritchie was struggling. So completely agree with you and Phil on that one. But the 7th subject here is anything you want to discuss about this Islanders team.
Okay, so before I get to that, I had a couple of other players I had written down as far as who's coming back, who's not. So for the unrestricted free agents, we already did D'Angelo, Soucy, Rittich, Lee. I had Hogberg in there. He's already gone back to Sweden, so that's automatically a no. It was a no anyway. And then the guys, there's 3 UFAs I actually do want to bring back. None of them played, or actually no, one of them did. 2 of them did not play in the NHL this year. One of them being Adam Beckman. He's only 24 years old. Had 2 good seasons in a row in the AHL. One really good last year with Bridgeport. I think he scored 30 goals.
Yep.
And then the other one is Ethan Bear. Never got called up. Was battling injury all year with Bridgeport. It shouldn't cost much to bring him back if he'd be willing to play in Hamilton, which I would assume. I assume his phone's not going to be ringing off the hook with offers.
He's very good friends with Barzell, I know. Yep. So,
and then the other one's Cole McWard, who's also young. He's a right shot. We have no righties, so might as well keep him in the AHL. We'll keep Cole McWard. And then on the RFA side, we did Shabanov, Gatcombe, Warren, Boquist. The other 2 I had, Dalen Kiefler's up. He's young. He's under control. Bring him back, sure. He's a high motor guy. I think he's actually going to have a nice camp for us.
He's somebody that I've heard has a chance next season.
I've heard that too. I've heard that from both Joey and Kenny. I'm not sure who you've heard it from, but they are big fans of his game in the AHL. He's like just a water bug. Should be a pretty good 4th liner.
Yeah, he's somebody to watch at next training camp for sure.
Yeah, skates well, high motor, type of guy we need that can potentially win his minutes even if he's not scoring. And then the other one, I'm free to let Alex Jeffries go.
Yeah, I actually saw he was up.
Crazy because he's a right shot winger that had some scoring touch, had a pretty good career at Merrimack. He showed promise in the AHL, but he's regressed the last 2 seasons, in my opinion. And
just
at
crazy.
This point, you let him go and you let somebody else take a chance on him.
Crazy to think where this prospect pool was. Like,
he was one of our marquee guys. He was one of the untouchables.
I feel bad for him and Maggio. Just so fast, like nobody talks about them, and they were like the only players that anyone kept an eye on.
I think Maggio has a little more juice than Jeffries, but we'll see. I think there's a chance Maggio plays an NHL game. It might not be for us, but it'll be for someone.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then moving on, the topics I wanted to discuss. I kind of touched on it before when we were talking about the defenseman. I'm a big fan of Schaefer moving to his weak side. I think the Rover style of hockey he plays, he's everywhere anyway, that it's not going to be that big of a deal having two lefties on the top pair. I'm doing this so we can keep Pelech, because that's the sexy name that everybody's floating around to move, because he has the least amount of trade protection and the most value. But if this team wants to win games, which I'm fairly certain they do, like I think the plan is playoffs next year. You're not making the playoffs without Pelech.
Yeah, 100. No, they have no chance without Adam Pelech. If they try to replace him internally, also they actually have no chance.
Yeah, so I think the best path to Pelech staying around would be Schaefer playing on the right with Pelech, and then you let Romanov and Pollock get second pair minutes. It'll be a little bit of weight off Pollock's shoulders. He'll start playing against players he should be able to handle a little better. And then a bottom pair of either D'Angelo and George or Mayfield and George, which we know we have proof of concept. We know Mayfield George works.
Yeah.
Which is why I was pissed that it was never tried this year.
Insane. It was a good pair last year. I looked that up, but I think that's a good idea. Schaefer playing his off. I feel like the kid could literally do anything. And I agree that it's really important for them to keep Adam Pelech, because Romanov, as much as I'd want to have faith in him, and I did going into this season, I don't know if he was fully healthy the whole time. That's kind of what I'm telling myself now. Right. I think because we're so far removed, but it was ugly.
Something to keep in mind that we never saw Romanov under a proper NHL coach. We saw him under rookie Marty St. Louis. We saw him under rookie Lane Lambert. And we saw him under completely structureless Patrick Waugh. So if anybody's going to be able to get anything out of his defensive game, positionally, IQ, stop passing the puck to the other team from our own zone, I think DeBoer may be able to find something in it. He made Ilya Lyubushkin a useful defenseman in Dallas.
I was thinking
and that's a similar type of player.
Because, I remember when Trotz first came over here. Remember number 58, Adam Pelech?
Yeah, or no, 50.
50, yeah, number 50, Adam Pelech. I mean, it was forgettable because it was not pretty, and Trotz completely changed his entire career. And with DeBoer next season, I stated before that I think if they kept Patrick Waugh, that this team was going to be literally a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, it's just spinning your wheels.
Coaching is important, and when I think about this team next season, I'm thinking about this undefeated overtime run. I'm thinking about Sorokin having a Vezina season and the variance within the goaltending position. And the natural thought for me is just regression. Yeah, regression.
Because that stuff's not sustainable.
So now it's just a complete overhaul, though, of structure and everything. And now I do feel like they're going to be in a very similar spot along the playoff line next year. Some people are telling me I'm crazy and that they're going to suck. I haven't seen so much optimism on making the playoffs next season. I'm curious where you stand on that.
I've been optimistic. Some of it's trolling. I have before even the draft on July 1st, I have us third in the Metro behind Washington and Carolina.
Really?
But I have no idea. If things go well, if we trade Pelech, we'll be 6th or 7th. If we don't, we could be 3rd. But who knows? There's still a lot of things that need to happen for us to make a proper prediction.
I don't think that they're going to trade Adam Pelech. I think it's something that the fan base really wants, but not the fan base. I think some people want it.
Did you see? I was talking with Steph about that this morning with Rosner, and he doesn't think Pelech's moving either.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually going to happen, but I understand where people are coming from in terms of gaining assets. But this team isn't trying to rebuild, and
exactly,
you're right. If they get rid of Pelech, I don't think you don't want to see what the blue line looks like without
the gap between Schaefer and the next best defenseman would be astronomical.
It'd be insane. So really thinking about that, for a surprise trade candidate, Romanov's deal kicks in on July 1st, and that's the no move clause. So here's where I
That's
go.
right.
So we have lefties. We have George. We have Aitchison in the farm. Pellick right now, and we have Schaefer, Pellick, George, Romanov. So here's where my mind goes. I look for like the Pierre-Luc Dubois style of trade where you have a talented forward who's on a large deal, but it's not quite working right now. But you've seen the talent and you've seen the production.
Yes, you
Tell
have
me
proof of concept.
Yeah, so tell me what you think of my mock trade. Alexander Romanov and a fourth for Mason McTavish from the Anaheim Ducks. That's where I go because both
McTavish
players
got paid, right?
yeah, they're both on 7-year deals, and both teams might not really need them, and it might have just been a contract that they want back. So that's kind of that's like the type of trade model that I'm looking into because without Pellick, I think that they're a lot more screwed than without Romanov, transparently.
Right. I like it. It's just I'm wondering if that's the guy the Ducks are looking to move. I know he's found his way into Q's doghouse a couple of times, and he's been healthy scratched. And we have proof of concept. There is talent there. I think the Ducks are more likely to want to move a defenseman. But if they were to move it forward and that trade is on the table, I'm taking it 100% of the time.
Yeah. So we're on the same page there. And yeah, what else you got?
Okay, so my next point would have been find a way out of either Mayfield or Romanov or Pollock, which we kind of just touched on. The third bullet point would be the pros and cons of a Andre Palat buyout. It would save us $3.3 million this year, and it would be a cap charge of $1.65 million next year if I did it correctly on Puckpedia. I don't know how are we going to be pressed to the cap to the point where we should buy him out, or do we just throw him in the press box or on the fourth line?
This is the reality now that the season's over and I'm not watching number 81 out there just disgrace Miroslav Shatan's greatness. Dude, like I really wanted him bought out because I can't watch the guy anymore. He is unwatchable for the people like you and I who literally watch this team every night throughout the wintertime. Watching him take the ice is a painful experience as a fan. And it's worse because this isn't a guy like this isn't a Clutterbuck or a Martin that like the fans have loved for a decade. It's a guy that just is he's at the end of his career. He literally was on the team that we hated most in like the absolute peak of our playoff appearances. And I just don't want to watch him so badly that it's like, yeah, just buy him out. But like
he probably has the worst Islanders legacy of anybody in recent history.
Him and Susie. It's so
he cost more.
It's
all right,
so
you and I should do like a friendly wager. Who's going to play more games as an Islander for the remainder of their career? Andre Palat or Pierre Engvall? 18 or 81?
I'm gonna go with I don't know.
They both might be 0.
Yeah, like that was a real mind change right there.
There's
like,
a chance it's a tie at 0.
Yeah, because I wanted to say Engvall so bad, but
I wanted to be Engvall, but I don't know what the heck's gonna happen with him. I didn't even write him down on here. That's how like back of the mind he is.
Let's talk about it. He's skating in Sweden. Like I know that he was going out there to see if he can still do it, and he could do it. Like he should be on his way back for training camp. So I'd be okay with him. I'd be okay with him in the lineup because you know what? I'm a little bit tired of watching players that have zero chance to score when they hit the ice. And when he's at the top of his game, which I know is not as usual as it should be, he can make something happen. He can carry the puck. He's got burst. He's a little bit faster than some of the players.
Right. Well, at least we play in the other team's zone when he's on the ice.
Exactly.
It's not, and he doesn't just give up possession so freely like we're so used to seeing on our crash and bang fourth lines. And yes, I do think there's a role for that, especially in the playoffs. But as far as in the regular season, if you want to get any scoring punch out of your fourth line, you need to have the puck. And that's the kind of guy that does, with all the things he does poorly, he does tilt the ice in the Islanders' favor.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him play more games for the New York Islanders.
I would like to see him under a different coach for now. We're at the third time we're saying this, but the thing with Engvall that I always find really interesting, during the 2 playoff series that he played on this team, he was actually one of the best players both times.
Right. He was on the Nelson line the first time we played Carolina, and that was the only line that had anything going. And then the second time he wasn't on the Nelson line anymore. He was playing with, I think he was playing with Kyle McLean and Cizikas on the fourth line.
I don't know, but
playing with Holmstrom. No, it was with Pageau and Holmstrom, and that was the only line against Carolina that had anything.
I was at game 3 and he buried one right in front of the net, standing in the paint. Like he gets after it when during the important times.
Oh, I remember that. That was when somebody when Aho got hit in the face, right?
Oh, I remember that.
When Nelson hit Aho in the face.
Yeah.
Like knocked like 4 of his teeth out.
Yeah. Just a side
note. And we're celebrating as this guy's teeth are on the ice. He's bleeding.
Yeah, it's brutal. I was looking at the 2023, the first year Engvall was here. That playoff series against Carolina, it's the first playoff series they played since Game 6 against Tampa. Game 7 against Tampa.
Lane Lambert.
Yeah. And, like I still feel like going into those playoffs, like this team still had the confidence of a team that has made multiple runs.
Right.
That series is so cursed. If you look at Game 2, our Aho smashes, like backhands the puck into our own net from the blue line. Sorokin's given up goals from behind the blue line.
But that was the Mayfield high stick game, right?
Yep, and the Mayfield high stick, yeah.
Crazy.
All of those things happen. You have Stastny scoring from like the side. That series was way closer than I realized looking back at
PNC Arena in Raleigh is cursed.
It is cursed, to this day.
And it's not even just for us. It seems to be cursed for everyone.
The day this team overcomes that will be one of the most satisfying things as a fan. We're that owned there.
Yeah, well,
but
it's not just us.
So, Andre Palat got us here.
Yep. So I get why buy him out, don't buy him out. I honestly don't give a shit. I don't want to see him play. So that would be the biggest for a buyout, and you save some money on the cap. But do we need $3.3 million extra dollars? I don't even know, because I don't think we're going to do much in free agency.
We don't, and I think I think this is going to be more of a chill off season. Like I feel like the coaching bump is what they're banking on to get better results. You have a lot of players under contract. The youngins like Aitchison, Eklund might be here next year, but
I think he's actually my next point. It's like you're looking at my piece of paper here.
Let's do it.
Point number 4. All right, I don't know if you listen to the Daily Faceoff podcast with, I want to say who's doing it now. That Tyler Yaremchuk and somebody else. Who's the host? Jason Gregor. They do a segment called Buy or Sell, where there's a take and you either buy that take or you sell that take. So here's the take. Buy or sell, Jack. At the end of next season, Victor Eklund is a top 3 forward on the New York Islanders.
I'm selling it.
For what reason?
I think that there's players. I think there's not that many of them, but I think there's players within the roster that like have a better chance of elevating to that level. Like I look at Cal Ritchie first.
Right.
I give Holmstrom an outside chance. Eklund.
What do you think of like opportunity? Do you think it'll be lack of opportunity?
Yeah, I do. I think
it's I think it's possible he gets the Ritchie treatment.
Yeah. I think it's lack of opportunity for sure. I don't think that he's going to. I don't think the coaching staff is just going to throw him out there as much like we saw it this year with Schaefer, where he's getting 30 minutes. Like I think that we have to expect him to start in Bridgeport, and maybe if he struggles a little bit, like we'll see how DeBoer handles it again, as opposed to Wah. I don't know.
I think his details are good enough that even if he's not producing, he'll still go over the boards every 4 shifts.
He was a top 3 forward the game he played against Carolina, so it's not a bad bet.
How many minutes did he play?
I don't even know, but he
did he play? Did he probably? He might have played 15 minutes. Wasn't he on the top line?
I'll look it up. Yeah,
with Horvat and Holmstrom.
He assisted. I
wonder how many minutes he played.
Him, Barzell, and Horvat had that beautiful assist.
Yeah, that cross crease pass.
Let's see.
That was awesome.
Time on ice for that game, April the 14th against Carolina.
I don't know if he got any special teams, but I think I feel like I remember seeing him play a fair amount.
He played over 15 minutes. He was
that's middle 6 minutes. That's third line, second line minutes.
He got more minutes than Pajot, Cizikas, Palat, and Foudy.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Foudy probably played 5 minutes, but
11-17. Was not here anymore, but
that's true. Okay. So moving on. I for the record, I am also selling, but I don't think it's impossible. I think there's a chance that he just clicks immediately. DeBoer falls in love with him, and he becomes our own little Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah, it's possible.
Not that they're the same type of player, but just a young guy in a Pete DeBoer offense.
Yeah.
My fifth point is not really it's not a question. It's just something I figured I should point out. Since the start of 2007, 2008, 11,227 seasons have been completed by NHL players. Maxim Siplakov in 2025-2026 had a PDO that ranked him 11,222nd, which is 5 from the worst ever.
Wow. Okay. Like
he had a historically unlucky season for both teams.
Is there anyone else I know like around him on that list?
Oh, you're gonna love this. Okay, so the worst one ever was a New York Islander in 2011.
Oh my God. There's no way.
And he didn't play for the Islanders much longer after that.
Okay, so it's a good. I swear to God, I thought you were going to say Josh.
And he's still playing in the league.
He's still playing in the league. Is it Nino Niederreiter?
Yes, it is. 2011 Nino Niederreiter has the lowest PDO in NHL history.
That's crazy, and it's so easy to see.
Who was he playing with?
We all thought he was atrocious.
Who was he playing with? It was hilarious.
I'm gonna look it up really fast.
Pandolfo, I think.
No, so 2010-11. Let me just check that.
Whichever year it was when he played 50-something games and had like a point.
Oh, okay. I'm in like his rookie season right now. I got to switch out of that.
Yeah, the one where he had no points, basically, and played over 50 games. Because the qualifier was, I think, 400 or 500 minutes, 5-on-5.
Let's see.
That's the worst one ever.
Niederreiter. His most common line mates were Pandolfo and Wallace for 105 minutes. I don't even remember. Tim Wallace? Was that his name?
Who the fuck is that, dude?
Yeah, that's who we had our prospect playing with. Yeah, Niederreiter, Pandolfo, Wallace. They played 105 minutes with an expected goal share of 37.8.
Hell yeah, dude.
My goodness. His second most common line mates were Reisner and Martin. Yeah.
There it is. Marty Reisner was the guy I was thinking of. Forgot about that. Awful.
Then they tried Pandolfo, Reisner, Niederreiter. Man, we're lucky that we're out of these days.
None of it worked. But I just thought that was a funny little nugget to throw in there.
Yeah.
Yes, coach hated him. He's a flawed player, but he had a historically unlucky season.
One of the most frustrating watches for someone that bet on him to be a good player this season. I've never seen anything like it. You could never get anything to go right. Like when he got that assist to Pajot the night before he was traded, that was like the best moment ever.
I felt so happy. I felt so good for him.
Because he waited months for that to even be on the ice at that time of the game. Like Wah wasn't even letting him play. He would stop playing him after like the second period. It was crazy.
Right. Yeah. I tweeted out and like, Siplakov hasn't played since 11:27 left in the second period.
It was very frustrating, but
I'll take the L on that. But there's a little bit of an asterisk as far as extreme unlucky season. Anyway, I got a couple more things. Let's see. So just some stats about the Islanders last year. As far as special teams goal differential, they were middle of the pack. They were 16th. So their power play was so bad, and their PK was good mostly because of goaltending.
Yeah,
they were dead even as far as power play PK. I think I had the numbers written down, but
does that count? Does that count shorthanded goals against?
It counts, yeah, for both ways though. The shorthanded goals we scored and the shorthanded goals we allowed.
We were hot earlier in the year with that.
Yeah, so it was a net 0.
Okay.
Also I only used 5-on-4, so 5-on-3 didn't count. 4-on-3 is an OT. Or 6-on-5s on a power play with the net empty, stuff like that doesn't count because most power plays are 4-on-4.
Might be a silly question, but is that a bad thing to be just 0 there?
No, I don't think so.
It's okay. Like it just
I
kind
think
of
it points out that our special teams were, they basically didn't affect us at all
they were
because our
average,
power play wasn't good and our PK was good, and it
better
just
than expected.
netted us 0.
Yeah.
Can you guess our goal differential of 5-on-5?
I'm gonna guess. You see, I would have said like +5 in like April. Now I'm gonna go -7,
-14.
-14. Yeah,
We were
they
minus
fell
14 at
apart.
5-on-5. We fell off pretty big. We've been an awful special teams team with a good 5-on-5 for a while. This year, -14 at 5-on-5. We were 21st in the NHL in 5-on-5 goal share.
Crazy. Like, what were we 5-on-5 goals against?
Like top 5. I
It's
think
so
we were
funny.
really good.
Yeah, it's because of Sorokin, literally all
Yeah.
because of him.
Oh yeah, so we were 25th in goals for this year. Not this is all situations, not just 5-on-5. 25th in goals for, 6th in goals against, and 24th in all situations chances. So we were getting outshot and outchanced, and we weren't scoring, but we were just obviously that just hammers home the point. Goaltending was saving us all year. Our expected power play was 27th. Our power play was 28th. So it was supposed to be bad, and it was bad. Our expected PK was 20th. Our PK was 6th. So that's the big difference.
How many points did they finish with?
I don't even
91.
know.
91. They finished
We still had
43.
90. Holy shit.
43, 34, and 5. Yeah, man. There were times in this season where they were like 13 games, 14 games over
Right.
500. It was insane. Rarely have we seen that in our lifetime as Islander fans where they're that many games over. Just absurd.
Well, they hit my under, which was nice.
What was the total?
93 and a half or 94 and a half. I bet it at the trade
goodness.
deadline. I'm like, this deadline is horrendous. We're not in that.
There's a great YouTuber and handicapper. His name is Andy Francis, and in like March when they
I've
traded
seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, when they traded for Shen, he's like, the Islanders to miss the playoffs is +260. He's like, this should be like -110. But he won't promote it on his YouTube channel, that one bet, because he's an Islander fan. So he doesn't want people thinking there's like any bias towards it. But I don't know. I just thought that was pretty funny.
Okay, and my last thing to cap us off, IAHF Worlds. Figured we'd mention it. Barzal's not playing due to injury, which we know it actually started today. The USA lost. Their lineup is full of fringe NHLers and college players.
Notice the goal scorer
isn't playing yet.
Notice the goal scorer for Switzerland. Why don't we bring in Smid?
Akira Schmid, the goalie?
Nah, Smid. Is it Smid Andrighetto?
Oh, Sven Andrighetto. He played in the NHL for a little while.
He was on Nashville, right? Or Colorado?
I don't remember.
Colorado.
Yeah, no, it was. It was Colorado. It was a while ago,
It was Colorado. And this guy's humming around in the Olympics. He's scoring today. It's like, I don't know.
And Leo Giannoni, their goaltender, is just a machine at Worlds every year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they couldn't solve him today. I didn't realize. I only caught a little bit of the game. Mm-hmm. I had no sound on either. Kachuk's not playing yet.
I think he's not there yet. I think he's still with his child.
Right. Yeah, he is.
But right. he will be reporting to Switzerland to play. Or is it Zurich, right? They're playing in? I don't remember exactly. But yeah, so Barzal's not playing. Danny Nelson did play today. He played like 8 minutes. Nothing happened. I think he had a shot. No goals. Canada beat Sweden. And for Sweden, we have Holmstrom and Heineman. Holmstrom had an assist and was a +1. Heineman was a -2. But they're badly outmatched by Canada.
You know what? I completely forgot that. I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot that Holmstrom and Heineman are there. And like next time they play, I'm going to make sure that I'm watching.
Well, that game was over at like 10 a.m. Eastern. So you would have to be up to watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch it. I was at work.
But
I just figured I'd throw that in there because that is happening right now. And it kind of affects the Islanders.
I won't lie. The World's really it took a lot out of me, the excitement when they announced that Barzal's not playing, because I was really looking forward to see what he can do playing with some real talented players next to him. I was super excited. What'd you say?
Do you think Bo was invited?
Yes, but I think that I think these players go to give them a better chance at the Olympics. It
Yeah.
surprised me actually to see John Tavares go because he's not going to go to the next Olympics
Right.
unless he miraculously ages.
Yeah.
But
Finds a fountain of youth.
yeah, so Barzell, I think, wants to be at the next Olympics. I just get that feeling. And Horvat, he
Yeah.
just went and he's like, okay, I lived it. I don't need to go again. I'm going to take the time with my family. So I think it gives you a better chance to make the Olympics.
Yeah, well, we know Schaefer was asked, and he didn't want to go because obviously he's got a lot going on, and I think he'll have many more opportunities to wear the maple leaf.
100%. Yeah, I'm happy he didn't go because he played the amount of minutes this guy played. Unprecedented.
Top 10 in the NHL.
That's so crazy.
And got hit more than anybody in the NHL.
Yeah, rest up, kid. They're going to need him
sure.
next year. I don't see DeBoer playing him like 25, 30 minutes a night. I just don't see
Hopefully
it.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I don't think DeBoer will let that happen. I think that was really a Wah thing that we won't see.
But keep in mind, playoff time, expect it.
Yeah,
because DeBoer was playing Miro Heiskanen 34 minutes a game in the playoffs.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Heiskanen in the prime of his career.
And we also have evidence that Pete DeBoer's totally cool with playing a lefty on his weak side.
Yep, they did that
on the right side for years for them.
So, did Heiskanen play with Lindell?
This year, yes. Last year he played with Harley.
Okay, that was probably just.
They're also both lefties.
Yeah, that was also probably like one of the best pairs in the league, right?
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah.
And then Harley I don't know what the hell happened to him this year.
Yeah, interesting. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Schaefer next year, but it won't.
Yeah, but if Schaefer can play the right side to even just comparable levels of Heiskanen and Dahlin, who both do it, I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
He brings more value to the team if he can play one top pair right D and allows him to play with Pelech.
They need him to do it. They just have nothing else there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I got pretty much.
All righty.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course, man. To many more, but thank you for coming on. I think moving forward, we're probably now going to end the season recap ritual we've done on here for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to move into more draft stuff. Talk to some draft experts. Going to need a couple of guests on for that too, because I don't know about you, Dom, but I'm not the biggest prospect guy. I don't really know. I'm not in the weeds there, so we'll get some experts.
I'm not the guy for that. I'll watch some tape and I'll listen to some podcasts and hear some lists and be like, oh, he looks good. He looks good. He looks good. I'm like, I like everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be excited whoever the hell they take. But yeah, we'll get some draft guys on. We'll look forward to free agency. Stay tuned. Thank you again, Dom, for coming on, and thank you guys for listening.